Hey everybody, this is Jacob West with Evernest Property Management Detroit, here today to talk to you guys a little bit about one of the most important parts of property management, and that is collections. So today we're going to talk to you about how Evernest collects from our residents. So most important thing to talk about when it comes to collections is that collections does not start when someone is late on their rent. So the key part of collections in Evernest's mind is getting ahead of that issue before it happens. So one of the things that we do to mitigate that is that we, for one, we want to have a really good relationship with our residents, of course. We want to have open lines of communication with them. And one of those lines of communication that we have is our resident portal, which allows residents to see what is coming due and when. They can make payments through the portal, submit maintenance requests, all the things that residents need to do with Evernest, they can do through that portal. And that portal also allows us to send out statements to these residents on the 20th of the month prior to that rent being due. So our collections process really starts on the 20th of the prior month. Along with that, we're also sending out reminder emails and texts. When we send out these reminder emails and texts, we do send out of course, our notification that the resident portal or the resident statement is available in the portal. And then we also send them out the day before rent is due. Just a quick reminder, hey, rent's gonna be due tomorrow. We send one out the day rent is due for anyone who hasn't paid yet, saying, remember, it's due today. And then we also send them out on the day that rent is going to be late. So we do have grace periods in each of our locations. It does depend on the location. Here in Michigan, it's 5 days. So on that 5th day of the month, we'll send out additional notifications to anyone who has not yet paid, just making sure that they're going to pay that day. And then we will also at that point start following up via phone as well and leaving voicemails, getting just a little bit more aggressive with that collections effort. While it is, it's not late yet, it is very close. And then once that resident, for the very small percentage of people that are late, we would start following up every day by phone, email, text after that rent is due. So the day that it's late, letting them know that they have now incurred a late fee, and then continuing to follow up there. And if we do not hear from that resident with a payment plan, a date that they're going to have rent in, or some other sort of information from them, checks in the mail or whatever. If we don't hear from them with a specific plan for how that rent is going to get to us within 1 week of that rent being late, that's when we got to start getting really tough. And that for property managers is issuing an eviction notice. So we don't like for it to get there. It doesn't get there very often with very many people, but it does get there occasionally. And if it gets there, then we will follow state guidelines as far as posting requirements. Here in Michigan, the requirement is that we mail it by standard mail or that we deliver it physically to the person in possession of the property. So depending on the case, we'll do one of those two items. You can't always get a hold of a person at a property, and the legal requirement is that you physically give it to them. So we do a lot of times default to that standard post, but of course we will go out and visit the property and try and make contact as well. So once we post that eviction notice, we will continue our follow-up methods, phone, email, text, and if that tenant still doesn't pay, or if that resident still doesn't pay, and we still don't have a defined plan of action from them, then once that eviction notice expires, that's when you as the homeowner would have a little bit of a decision to make. And the reason that we do defer to homeowners at that time is that evictions can be pretty costly. An average eviction costs somewhere between $800 and $1,000, and then they can take a while as well. So especially with the backlog from the COVID eviction moratorium, which believe it or not, there is still a backlog here well after the moratorium's over. It can take 6 to 8 months in a lot of cases to get someone out if they fight it the whole way. So eviction, definitely a last resort. We definitely want to get in touch with people and develop a plan before we get there. But if all else fails, if we can't have someone move out of the property peacefully before then, or pay their rent, or put a payment plan in place, then we would put all that information into the homeowners court, and you can make a decision on how you want to proceed. And so that is our collections process. That is how Evernest collects from our residents. If you have any questions at all about this or any other property management topics, you can visit our website at evernest.co or shoot us an email at support@evernest.co. Thank you.